Never wanting to miss an opportunity, especially when it snows, I headed to one of the local forest areas where there's been a small pond that I've been keeping an eye on, knowing there was definitely some opportunity with it, and I thought with the white snow now surrounding it and coating the trees, there should be some lovely contrast for a black and white image just using the dark water from the pond. So I headed out. Thankfully it's not far from the house and a very short walk. So this is the pond. Unfortunately frozen over and nicely coated with white snow. So zero contrast, and the idea that I had completely out the window. I did try and see if there's anything I could put together, but it just didn't work. So we cut this walk short and headed off to another forest walk just 5 minutes up the road. There was a bit of protest in the walk being cut short, some holding out slightly longer than others. The water in this forest was more of a small loch, so I knew it wasn't going to have completely frozen over and would hopefully give me that contrast that I was looking for. On the way there was a off-flow that had been created just due to the extra water melting from the snow off from the loch. This isn't usually here, and I just loved the way it spilled through the trees. So I thought I'll get a couple of images. In my head these were all going to become black and white in quite high contrast, so I kept that in mind when I was putting them together. Just imagining the water essentially as oil flowing through the river, using this island of snow just as a bit of interest in the foreground. The river just does a perfect job leading your eye up towards the trees with there's a wee bit of detail just with the water splitting into different paths. Arriving at the loch, I was disappointed to see that I was completely wrong and the snow had managed to coat the loch and freeze over the water. But there's an old boat shed here. I can only assume it remains in use for the disposal of bodies and not much else. So there was still a subject to be used. After doing some scouting about, I was happy enough with the thickness of the ice and the edge being frozen. You can see there's a layer of slush on the top but not much else. And then I proved myself wrong by going knee deep into the mush right here. With my trousers now sporting a stylish two-tone look and my feet quickly numbing up, I sped up the process and in my haste forgot to do the POV shooting for this. Just using the grass as some foreground interest and the darker ice leading your eye up towards the boathouse for the main subject. I moved a wee bit closer just so that I could get a landscape shot and also include a few more of the trees. I really like this composition with the exception of the top right corner. I just feel it's very unbalanced. There's not much going on, but it doesn't work as intentional negative space either. But you can't have it all the time. So with my feet now pretty much frozen solid, I packed up my gear and informed the dogs they'd have to stop chewing apart the forest. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you for watching. A like and a subscribe and a comment goes a long way to help the channel. If you want to see my images a bit better, you can get me on Instagram at 4pads, and there's a Ko-fi account if you want to help support the channel. Once again, thank you and goodbye. Have a nice day.